I recently went on a small adventure in the camper van where I checked out what the beautiful rolling hills of Shropshire have to offer. So, with the world turning back to some degree of normality, things have gotten very busy on the work front. This has meant I've not been able to do as much filming as I would have liked. So I decided to take my stealth van life camper van and do some wild camping in the Shropshire Hills, and whilst I was at it, I thought I'd do a bit of filming. So I arrived Friday evening to spend the night at the top of Longmin in this just breathtaking and stunning landscape. I got a little bit of tea on and I sat and watched this gorgeous sunset whilst I planned where I'd be riding tomorrow.
Morning, people. Well, the weather came down quite a lot last night. The wind came in really heavily. Let me just see if I can. This door's closed. As you can see, it doesn't look as gorgeous out there today. Not quite as gorgeous out there today as it was yesterday.
So with Longmin looking out of the question today, I get the weather map out on my phone and decide to head 10 minutes down the road to Bringwood in Ludow. But first, time for a cuppa. So when you get to Bringewood, there's quite a few different places to park, and depending on who you speak to, they all have their own preference. I prefer to park on the south side of the wood on Killhorse Lane, just in what's known as Mortimer Forest. This is mainly because it's a little bit further up the hill in Bringewood, so that initial climb isn't so hard. Once you arrive at the point in Mortimer Forest on Killhorse Lane, it's a simple ride straight up the fire road as far as you can go, and that takes you straight to the top of the start of all the trails for Bringewood. When I come to Bringwood, I always start off with this trail, which is a nice easy flowing trail to start with, and then as it gets further down the hill it has some nice features. I am noticing that the trail doesn't seem to have been ridden that much recently, which I thought was quite strange for June, even with everything that's been going on this year. With that track clearly not being ridden a lot recently, I was struggling to see where I was going. I spotted this other little trail that looked like it had been a bit more popular recently, so I thought I'd check that out. Yes, the wildlife is definitely starting to take back some of these trails, and after going a little bit further, I soon realised why.
And I'm guessing why.
Forestry are felling, that's why the trails seem to be so unridden. I later found out that this is actually part of thinning out works to stop forest fires. So after discovering this, I decided to head out to the downhill course to see what's happening over there. More felling, thwarted again. I decided to follow the forest machinery tracks down to the fire road, where I thought I'd check out the original downhill track.
Should just be here. A bit too fast, because there'll be big lumps of brash like that. Oh shit. Wow. Whoa. Seriously, jumped to her now, that never used to be there. I haven't got the strength for the minute. Go that one. Bastard, whoa, that was it. Almost had me. And the fucking, no idea what happened on that little run then. I think I went off this half-arsed, a bit half-cocked, and I was sort of just, I jolted. So whether I caught my front wheel on that route or something caught me out, but I threw myself forward and just rode out of it. Oh bastard, whoa, that was it. Almost had me. Bastard, whoa, that was it. But as we come down here, obviously
trail sort of naturally goes down this way. There is this sort of cut across here, across the roots. Roots are a little bit wet, but looks quite tidy. So I'm gonna have a go, see if I can make that work. So instead of coming down and round there, see if I can cut across there and make that work. We are top of that section. If you're going to go and take the corners, this is where you're setting. If you're going to take that route line that I just showed you, you're actually setting yourself up right up here. So as you're coming in here, you're cutting along across here and keeping it straight. You're straightening out the corner as much as possible. So that line choice down there actually starts all the way back up here. If you're over here, what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for that corner, the low corner, which if you're just having a bit of fun is fine. But if it's a race option and you're trying to sort of shave those few milliseconds here and there, you're up here, you're not going to be able to get across those routes. So you're thinking, I've seen people cut those routes, I'm up here, you're now having to turn up onto the route. You can still probably make it, but you're turning up onto the roots. You've got more chance of sliding on these wet roots, coming down into that stump, just losing control and completely messing the corner up. You're just talking, what, 1.5 feet, 2 foot? That's the difference of the trail. Instead of being there, you want to be here. And then you come down, that's where I aimed. And look at that, straight as a die. You can flick up and over, and it just opens that corner up massively. Go right.
After reaching the bottom of that trail, I was stopped by forestry works again, and it's becoming quite clear why I haven't seen anybody riding today. Clearly, every single trail here has been stopped by some sort of forestry works at the minute. So I decided to head back to the camper van, where I thought I'd try out my new portable pressure washer, which I've wanted to show you guys for quite a while now, because I think it's probably the best pressure washer on the market for the money. So what is this pressure washer? Is it the Muck Off at £140, the Karcher at £130, or the more reasonably priced Moby at £75? No, it's this 17 quid eBay special, and it works absolutely fine. You do need to supply your own tank, which isn't a problem. I had one lying around. You can refill it just out of a stream like all the others can do. It's basically the same 12-volt pump that you get with a Karcher or a Muck Off. It does require a little bit of basic DIY. You've got to mount it yourself and find somewhere to install it in the back of your van, but really that's not a problem. And as you can see, the results are fantastic. Here's my bike, lovely and clean. Anyway, I'm all set for a night in the woods. I've got my log burner lit and my wet clothes hanging up drying. And despite the difficulties with the felling, I hope you got to see what Bringwood is all about. The locals will get those trails back up and running in a few weeks, no doubt, so definitely go check it out. Anyway, guys, I'm going to eat my tea and call it a night, because in the morning I'm meeting up with Rich as we tackle Long Mind, which will be the next episode. So I'll see you then. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.